Hello friends, this is Sri Hari from NRI Samay. We are live with Janetha Reddy. She is the attorney focusing on immigration and helping a lot of Indians. We will be talking with her on the new trends and the issues that many Indians face. We also have Sripal Reddy. He recently encountered an issue and he went to India, so we'll be discussing about that. And Srikanth will be the host today. Srikanth, please take it over.
Thank you, Srihari. Friends, welcome back to the weekend edition of NRI Samay, Saturday's live show. This is your today's host, Srikanth. Wherever you are around the world, a very warm good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, friends. So at NRI Samay, we strive to make it a point to have shows on immigration every quarter, friends, as it would benefit our NRIs in USA. And we'll also see if we could help our friends who have questions or issues related to immigration in other parts of the world too. But that's something which we could take it later on. So even before we start, our friends, just a follow-up on our August 25th show related to Assam burning. There's an important piece of information that I would like to share and which also might help our friends in Northeast. So Assam government announces that a third special train to Bangalore will be available on September 20th. As you're aware, the first special train to Bangalore left Guwahati on September 1st, and so the special train, the other special train also left on Saturday, which is September 8th, India time at 1:15 p.m. So friends, Assam government is planning to run this third special train to Bangalore on September 20th, and the charges for this train would be reimbursed by the Assam government. So please do share this message and help our friends in Northeast share these messages on Facebook or Twitter or wherever on all the social forums that you wish would help our friends. So please spread the message, friends. Now let's get back to our today's show. Friends, today we are greatly honored and also grateful to have Attorney Janetha to help answer questions related to immigration. So any immigration questions, please do call to the studio and talk to Janetha directly at 323-410-0162. I repeat, friends, this is 323-410-0162. And you could also, if you're anywhere else in the world and have questions, you could connect to our studio via Skype. The ID is NRI Samay, NRI SAMAY. Also, to give you a little background about Janetha Garu and her work, Attorney Janetha Kancherla graduated an LLM degree from the Indiana University School of Law, Indianapolis. So she's admitted to practice law in the state of New York. She's also a member of American Immigration Lawyers Association and New York State Bar Association. So being herself an immigrant from India, I'm sure Janetha Garu's experience would help get answers to a lot of questions. Also, the law offices of Janetha Garu is located in Virginia, Washington, D.C., and New York. Her firm handles a variety of immigration matters, including employment and family-based cases, as well as areas of adjustment of status and naturalization. For all this piece of information about Janetha Garu and her work, you could please visit http://janethalaw.com or email her at Janetha, Janetha @janethalaw.com. So you can call her office at 703-880-6409. Janetha Garu, thank you very much for being on our show today. Good to see you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Srinath. Thank you very much for having me on the show, and I'm really honored to be on the show.
Thank you, Janetha. So, just to let you know, friends, the answers to your questions provided on the show are for information only. Please do not act or refrain to act solely on the answers provided in the show. And let's get started here. Janetha, in the first few minutes, we could focus on the latest immigration law updates that would help broader section of our listeners, and who would be students, H1B visa holders, or green card holders. So if you could add more topics, that would be great. But in the first part of the show, let's focus on getting the latest immigration law related updates. And then the second part, we'd go over the list of compiled questions that I have that we have received from various NRI Samay social forums. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah,
Sure.
most of the time, in immigration law is, like there are frequent changes that are happening because of the interpretations and, because of, what's happening around the world and how the cases are coming in and going. So most of the time, the people are looking into right now, the HR 301 Act, whether it could be passed, which is also called as the Fairness for Highly Skilled Immigrants Act. So basically, what this would do is right now, there are per country quota limitations for the visas. So what this would do is, if passed, it would eliminate the per country numerical limitation, especially for employment based. To increase the per country numerical limitations for family-based immigrants as well. So, people are looking forward, to get this passed, and, if it does so, it's a very, good outcome, and, people will, be much happier on the passing of the law. And the other thing recently that are going on is a lot of people, those who are, going back home for H1B visa stamping, most of them are, getting stuck, unfortunately, because of several issues. It's not only one. We can say there are several things that, each person is getting stuck most of the time with the administrative reviews, or sometimes, for the client letters, or sometimes, the documentation related to the employers. And based on that, previously what used to, the interpretation, the regular interpretation is, if there are, any material changes in H1B, so there need to be an amendment that should be filed. So that's what the long-standing interpretation was. But, this is going on since past 2 years, as far as I'm observing. The interpretation is changing with the USCIS and also at the, State Department. So when a person goes for stamping, the consular officer is mostly asking for looking whether, whatever the original location for the H1B that was filed is same or, similar, whether he is working in there right now. So most of the time what happens is, if there is a change in the location, because, pretty much these are like, 6 months, 8 months contracts, and if an H1B is approved for a whole 3 years, a person most of the time might not be, in the same location. So once his contract is done, for 8-9 months, then, he moves on to a different location, where the, it's a general practice previously that the employer, files an LCA before the employee starts working at that particular location. But it seems like, there's a lot of, changes going on, especially in this, where the State Department says that, there need to be an amendment. So they are not coming up with, the clear set of rules, what exactly it means. Previously, they used to say, if there is a material change, which means if there is change in job duties, or, if there is a change in the job title, then, any other material changes, then amendment need to be filed. But right now, what they are saying is, even though if there is a location change, employer should file an amendment. So, which is going to be a very expensive for, employer especially. Let's say, for example, if an employee is working at this particular location, works 6 months and moves on to a different location, and again, the employer needs to file the amendment. Still there is no clear idea, but that's what their interpretation seems to, and right now they are still have to come up with a clear set of rules or regulations how they are going to treat this. But there are a lot of cases and instances where the H1B is approved, and this employee moves, and the FDNS goes on site and checks for this employee, and he's no longer working in there, and then they go back and report back to USCIS saying that he's no longer there. Again, USCIS coming back to the employer saying that they have to revoke the H1B, and even though employer responds sometimes positively with all the rules and the regulations, there are cases where, especially California Center, revoke those H1Bs. It's all, kind of, troublesome and, very hard to take it on. So.
Yeah, definitely painful. We have a caller right in, Janetha. So let's see who this is. Sir, please spell your name and then the location you're calling from. Please go ahead and then ask your question, sir.
Hi, this is Sagar from
Hi, Sagar. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for taking my call. I had one quick question. My wife is on H4 visa, and we are planning to for her to convert to F1 visa. So I was wondering what's the process and how long does it take? She already has admission in a school.
Oh, okay. So change of status from H4 to F1, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you said she already had an I-20 in hand, the approved I-20. Am I right?
No, we have to file her I-20. She has admission, so they said we need to do the process, but we did that I-20. So I guess what's the process after that? That's my question.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Once the I-20 is issued by the university, pretty much what you have to do is, file the change of status I-539 with the USCIS. And once that is approved, then, she will get back her I-20 stamped, and then, she's good to start her, classes with the university. Basically, filing the change of status I-539 with the USCIS.
So how long does it take usually, when we apply and?
Usually, the processing timings always change. It depends upon the service center where it is going to be. So pretty much, you can go online on the USCIS website and look into the timings. But probably I would say, anywhere between, 2.5 to 3 months. And it fluctuates most of the time, it depends upon the, incoming of the caseload that they are having.
Right. And do they have any premium processing for this? I know for H1 they do have for this. Do they have any premium? Okay.
No,
so
they don't have any premium process for this, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. And so, and then is the same to convert to any status, right? So it's from F4. Is it advisable to convert to a status or?
I didn't get you what exactly you're trying to,
Yeah, so she's on H4, so right now it's a fine.
Yeah, if she wants to pursue her studies in here, definitely, why not? If she is having that kind of opportunity, yes, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks and you can, if you can also, if you have any questions later on, anybody who is listening out there, if they have any questions, those sometimes people, not like to, speak on the public shows. So if they have any questions, please feel free to, email me at janetha@janethalaw.com, or you can go on my website and, get my phone number and email ID. My website is www.janethalaw.com.
Great. Thanks. I'll follow up if I have more questions.
Sure. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sagar. Thank you very much. And as friends, I'll repeat this. If you have any further questions you would wish to reach out to Janetha, please do visit her website, www.janethalaw.com, JANETHALAW.com, or email her directly at Janetha, JANETHA, at janethalaw.com. You can also call her office at 703-880-6409. 703-880-6409. So moving ahead, Janetha, you've mentioned people who are going back home and then they're being stuck because their visa is not being approved or they've got some queries at the consulate. So we have one such case. We have Sripal, who's right now online, and his case has brought in little attention out here in Los Angeles. So let's quickly listen to Sripal's case and then understand what's going on. Is it specific to Hyderabad Consulate or it's spread across, or what's going on? This is really painful to hear such stories where people are stuck there for 7 months, 8 months, losing their families, losing their studies for kids. So let's listen to Sripal. Sripal, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, hi. Thanks for having me on this show. Actually, what happened was last November, my wife and kid went to India a month ahead of me, and they got their visa stamped, and there was no question about it. Later, I went to Mexico in December first week, and when I went to the consulate, it was like a 1.5 hour interview, and it was like pulling me into a room, and it's like no one ever did a big interview asking me so many questions, and everything was on paper is legal. Like I came here in 2000. I was on L1 for first 3 years. Then I moved to a company on H1, and I was with the same client and the same employer for last 3 years. There's nothing changed, complicated in my case, but they were not ready to issue the visa, and they just said that okay, we'll get back to you in a couple of days. And I feel like there are 30 to 40 Indians staying in the hotel in Mexico, just waiting for like 2 to 4 weeks for their visa. And there's no kind of any response, or you cannot contact them at any cost. And it's like living in a third country nation without anything. And it's like difficult, right? So I decided, okay, anyway, I was on vacation, so let me go back to India from there. So I went to India, and after 3 weeks, I got an email from them saying that, okay, so you can come down for a final interview. So meantime, they did an audit at my employer's place. They called my client a couple of times and made everything is clear, and they emailed me. But the problem, what I heard, in order to come back to Mexico, I need to get my Mexican visa stamped. So I went to New Delhi to get my Mexico visa stamped. But in New Delhi, Mexican consulate was not at all ready to take up any visitor cases. They just blindly reject every visiting visa case there. And they don't even let us talk to them. And they clearly say in the border and going to USA. I clearly explained them. Yeah, for the last 6 years, I have my employer, I have all my paychecks, and I have an email from Tijuana Consulate saying that to return back, but they are not at all ready to do that. And there are like dozens of my friends who went to Delhi Consulate and just returned back. So at that point, I had no other option. I just emailed back to Tijuana saying that I cannot return because I didn't get a visa. I make some arrangements to get my visa. Then they said, no, we can't do anything. We are sending your case back to USCIS for a review, for a final. And I waited and waited for 3 months. There was no response at all, and no way I can contact anyone on my case. So I decided to transfer my H1 a new company and go for an interview at Hyderabad, and which was not an easy one. It was a very tough one. The kind of, they asked like, you guys are violating the H1 rules. How do you expect me to give a visa? I was trying to explain them, you are not violating the H1 rules. Like the employer came back to me asking for whether he took up the project, and he came back to me, and I came here. And at last, it was a huge debate, kind of like 35 minutes. And at the end of the day, he says, the visa officer, okay, based on 2 reasons I'm giving you a visa. I think you have some specialized skills, and you have in the business for a long time. So I was working with the various studios for the last 8 years. So he says, you got your 140 approved, go back to your country, get your, you'll soon get your green card, find a full-time employer, and find a job, and stop this body shopping. So my question is, like, I left my home, my car.
So where are you now, Sripal? Are you still in India?
No, I'm back right now. I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay. So you are back on. Okay.
Yeah.
How many months it took all over to go through all this process?
7 months, 8 months, I would say. In December I was there. In July last week I'm back.
Okay.
So one other thing is, in July first week I got a response on my earlier on my case, saying that they started reviewing my case. So it took almost 6.5 months to open my case and look into that. But I in a final response, but it is still under review, my initial H1.
Okay. I know, at times, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Shrikanth, go ahead, please.
No, I think there should be at least some kind of communication where we can contact them and what's happening in our case kind of thing. See, it's like difficult for 7 months leaving everything here and the house is like that, lying here. And the good thing is I got a project going on. I was working the last 7 months from India. Right, that's my case.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I can definitely understand. It's not only you. There are a lot of other people in your, in the same scenarios. I would not say a lot, but a good number of people, going through the same scenarios and, having trouble, coming back again, and then, all this where there is no clear communication or where a person really cannot contact, either the petitioner or the attorney, on the file should contact them, and it's only through emails we have to contact, and the response, pretty much usually the response will be within the 24 hours. But it's not only one consulate, not Hyderabad, Chennai, or Mumbai, or Mexico. It's throughout the world, all the U.S. consulates, what they are trying to do is, they just want to see, even sometimes the employers also having some bad practices sometimes. They just want to make sure that, this particular employee is working there. But, I came through some of the cases just like yours where, there's a straightforward client letter, there's a straightforward, letters from the manager, supervisor, and later a lot of other evidences like email exchanges and badges and, appreciation emails from the manager, which are a very clear evidence that, this particular, employee is working for this end client. This, consulting business in this body is, it's not a new thing to United States. It's there since, past so many years. So I don't know why this is happening. It's all of, developed since past, 3 years. So people are going through and, having frustrated. But, the other side of it is at least the employers are allowing them to work from, the home country. But there are some cases where, they would not allow because of some security purposes, and where this particular person will lose the job. I'll let you know a scenario where this guy goes back to India and then, goes for stamping, and they say the consulate said that in administrative review. And it's not even reviewed for, 3 or 4 months. And, where he is working, the end client, they really cannot wait for this person, right, for full 3 to 4 months. They badly need this resource on site and, working for them. In the meantime, if there is no positive outcome, they would like to go ahead and, hire one more resource. That's how, people are losing jobs, and, it's a very delayed process. But, at least from their side, what everybody is expecting is, of course, they can do all kinds of, immigration, administrative reviews, they can go and check, but at least they should set up a mechanism where, it should speed up a little bit. That way, the employee's, job will not be jeopardized. That way, he will have his fair chance to, win his own case. So I can, definitely understand your frustration, but, sometimes there are really no answers. So, even once the Chennai consulate head came to, a law office here in Washington, D.C., downtown, and, there are, a lot of our colleagues went to meet him, and then, no particular answer. Even the attorneys are asking, just however you expressed your story to me, we are telling them, this is what's happening. There are no new laws. There is absolutely no changes in the rules. They were the same. But, why this new interpretation? So it all depends upon, how the economy is doing. Maybe they are, having a kind of impression that this program is being abused. So, there are a lot of other reasons, but, everybody wishes that, a trade mechanism or, a faster mechanism should be set up. That way, employee gets his fair share and, comes back, on his job to U.S. again, to be there, available, for the job and for his employer and then client.
So, Janetha, let me understand this. Are there any kind of organizations or anyone who's working to really help this out? Because kids are losing school, a lot of confusion, chaos, as Sripal mentioned, that houses are just, they leave their houses, their cars are here, and let's imagine they don't get their visa at the end of the day. They've lost 1 year of, or close to 8 months of their expertise. So, do you know of any agencies or any organizations that are working with the ambassadors of our country, or any of these going on?
Yeah, I see. Most of the time, these are the clients for the attorneys, and attorneys are, sharing these stories in AILA. We all share these kind of stories and, try to communicate with them. AILA is doing, a very good job on that. They keep on, communicating and acting as a liaison between, us and, the clients and the department, conveying the same message. Yes, absolutely, they are aware of, these kind of things are happening. Yes, it's not a secret. Yes, they know it, and, all the attorneys from, AILA, those who are practicing immigration, are bringing it to their attention. Yes, they know it, but unfortunately, I don't think there is any improvement, but when we compare, the scenarios to the past, 7 to 8 months before and now, depending upon what we are experiencing from our, clients' employees, it's a little positive side, but again, when there are more layers involving, again, it's a troublesome unless and until it's a direct, they are working for the direct client. So, but as to your question, yes, definitely they are aware of what's going on. It's not a secret. Yes, AILA is doing that kind of job, communicating to them what's going on.
Okay, maybe to put it in this way, U.S. might be really interested to discourage Indian workers, and probably that might be the other side of the story. So, is that the sense that a lot of lawyers or attorneys get with the phenomenon?
Yes. Yeah, they are communicating the same thing. Probably, one might be frustrated at some point of time and, try to leave the country, or, with the expenses involving and, these new policies going on, maybe it's not a very good, the encouragement to the employer where the job, the jobs might be outsourced, Definitely, they are aware of the situation. It's not anything that they don't know. Yes, they are aware of the statistics and the percentages and everything, but despite of all that, they would like to, scrutinize and make this program, that there are no abuses in the program, because, as they are doing their investigations, a lot of, abuse is going on with this program. I mean, I would not say a lot of, but, there are some people, misusing the program, so they are just trying to get it straight. So.
Okay. Now, let me understand this. Let's imagine there are folks like Sripal who are facing these problems. Other than talking to USCIS, other than talking to all other folks, at that point, he's definitely morally down. So what do you suggest to people like this who are stuck in Mexico, who are stuck in multiple places, just waiting for their cases to be resolved? So where do they reach out to? Do you have any references to agencies or anybody who can help them expedite their process, or help them understand what kind of documents or anything that are needed? Who can help people like Sripal and others who are really stuck with this problem?
Yes, there are two different procedures, Srikant. As you said, you just asked me where people like Sripal can reach, where they can get help. There are several agencies where they would listen and take it to the next level. But I would say, the best would be, communicating to the attorney, and they in turn communicating it to their organizations, organizations like, AILA, where they are continuously working, to, get the things in the fashion that they used to be, and, keep them going in that way. So, I would say the best way would be, communicating to the attorney, this is what it is, and, how I am feeling. And in turn, the attorney gets that kind of, that side of the story, how, the employee is feeling, and in turn, going and communicating back in their, with the colleagues, and at the same time, getting in touch with that, liaisons who are working continuously, for the, fairness of, these kind of policies. If they want to get the real help, I would say, communicate to the attorneys, they in turn will, definitely would be able to, figure out something. And it's not an instant, sometimes even the attorneys will not be able to do anything. It's all depending upon, the officer who is really, having the case, and, what they are interpreting and how they are interpreting that particular case. So it all depends on, frequently, as any law, it all depends upon, the black letter law rule, and then the interpretations, and then the, preceding cases, and so on and so forth. So it keeps changing. So, as all the other, but, the immigration is, very fast and, frequent changing.
Right. Sripal, I think you've got answers to your question, and thank you very much for being on our show, Sripal. I appreciate you being on our show today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Janetha, you were mentioning about the ILA website. ILA, that might be of some help. Can you elaborate on where the website is? Do you have any references that people could look out for?
See, this is only fairly for, attorneys. This is, American Immigration Lawyers Association. So, people can communicate to the lawyers where, they will have, we as the lawyers, having, 12,000 all over the country. They have, conference every year, at some locations, and then, they keep on talking about all these issues, how all the attorneys, experience the same, same kind of feelings, and getting the same kind of feedback from their clients, saying how Sripal expressed to me. There are several clients of mine and all other my colleagues, they are trying to put it in front of the officers, saying that this is what is happening, whether they are aware or not. And pretty much basically when we do say that, they say that employees doesn't come prepared, it's not all, but, some of them, when the department, State Department meeting happened in the AILA conference, they communicated and talked about several issues, and, there are some officers who pointed out saying that, when we ask something related to, the job and, the tax returns or, something, the employee is not prepared. They are going through, tons of paperwork. They are not organized. And from the officer perspective, they have to, at least, interview several other, I would say, several at least 100 people ahead, they would like to, save time. And if these people are not organized, how can we accommodate them? That's how they are, from their perspective, that's their thinking. So from, client's perspective, employee's perspective, this is how they are thinking. But I would not say, all are disorganized. Maybe there are some, but most of the time, pretty much those who are working here in the United States, they are, pretty organized regarding the documentation wise, and, they are pretty smart, and they know what they are doing, and, and they present themselves, very better. But, this is what it is, Sripal,
yes,
absolutely. Yeah, it's very frustrating for, for everyone. For everyone, I would say.
Yes, true. Looks like we have another caller who's coming right in here. Let me check.
Sure.
So you're right now on air. Please go ahead, sir. You're right now on air. Do you have a question? Please go ahead. Hello. Sir, you're on air. Please go ahead. All right, I think.
Yeah, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I think he's got disconnected. So, Janetha, we have Raj who's put in a question on Google Moderator. Hi, Janetha, this is Raj. How do we get the employment verification letter from new employer when AC-21 porting as employers does not know about SOC codes? Is it safe to copy-paste job description from ONET and get the same from employer? Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I would say, it's not a better idea to copy paste from, the online. They have to know, what their previous job duties are and whether the job that they are accepting at the new employment does fall within the same or, similar, job titles and job duties and under the same umbrella of the SOC codes. They have to make sure. You cannot just blindly go and say, this is what it is, and, they can only do the AC-21 when they are sure. I would suggest, just don't go ahead with the copy-paste thing. You have to know what your job duties and job title was and, what kind of job duties you will be performing at this new employer location.
Very good, very good. I hope he has got his answer. Thanks, Janetha. And then coming to this issues, a lot of our students are facing. So recently the Department of Homeland Security is raiding schools, and we heard episodes of Tri-Valley University, Herguan University. A lot of students are having issues. Can you provide some tips and pointers, probably students who are enrolled, graduated, or graduating from these universities? Where do these guys go? Where do they get help? So if you could give some pointers.
Yeah. Sure, definitely. Most of the time, nowadays, the students are looking for, some, easy get-ons. I would not really suggest that, go to the school and, if they are abroad, coming from India, from rest of the world, from any other part, go research about the university and make sure that, look into the history of the university and, so on and so forth, and probably nowadays it's not an easy thing, it's an easy thing to communicate, they are having, a lot of friends in here where they can ask them to, visit personally the school. This is how it's working. Most of the time what's happening is, of course, they are coming, on the I-20 of a valid university, which is really good and having very good value. But after coming here, listening to some of their friends, for the shortcuts, for the workarounds, they are trying to move on to a different universities where they can just, where the universities are offering these, online courses or something like that. I would say, there are some set of rules that you have to play with. It's not like, whatever you can do, you will go by your own rules. No. Before even changing it to the other schools, I would say, within their university, there is a DSO, the designated school official. They give very good guidance, to students, those who come from abroad. So, they do conduct, the class kind of thing, introductory class, explaining the set of rules. I would suggest all the students, those who are newly coming, on F1 visas, please attend those classes. It's a lot of, information. It's very informative, and you will know what to do, what not to do, and don't make decisions on your own. And every, if you want to change your university or maybe, the work hours, everything, the school DSOs are pretty much very friendly, and, they will let you know what to do, what not to do. So I would say start from there, look for, attend the introductory, the class or, whatever it is said in each university. Attend those, get a good feedback from the, friends or, relatives or, anyone, look into the reviews, and also, don't try to, work or look for the shortcuts. Absolutely.
Shortcuts. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
there
is no shortcut to the hard work. You have to go through, the math. Some people, they just going online and, doing the courses, not physically attending. There are set of rules where, in a given semester, you have to attend the physical classes and, only with some exception having, online, going online classes. So they have to make sure that they understand. Otherwise, they are getting into trouble if they do not understand the set of rules that are already in there. So always say that, don't play by your own rules. Play by the set of rules that are already existing.
For sure. We have a caller right in. Sir, please go ahead. Please spell your name and then your location, and then go ahead with your question, sir.
This is Naveen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Naveen. Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Yeah, Naveen calling from Ohio. I'm living close to Cleveland, Canton.
Mm-hmm.
So the question I have is regarding I-485, and this is for my wife. She got RFE on her I-485. I mean, we got EAD cards, but recently what happened is she was asked to provide I-797 approval notices for all the extensions she did in the past and the change of statuses. So the concern I have at this point is like she came to USA on H4, and then after 6 months she applied for H1, and in H1 she was there for 1 year, and then after that she came back to H4. So she was in status, but thing is, when she was in H1, she didn't maintain status. The reason I said is she didn't work properly. I mean, she didn't get the project, so she hasn't got paid and stuff like that. So right now, they didn't ask anything. All they asked for I-797 and all the statuses, so which we submitted, but thing is this something they're going to come back and ask about the wages when she was on H1 and stuff like that?
Yeah, probably, they have every, authority to come back and ask for anything, the only reason they will be looking into is, whether a person who is awarded their, status, whether they are maintaining it or not, is a big issue. So probably they might, but at this point of time, would not like to comment on that, whether you will receive an RFE and if so, what it will be. But definitely, they have every authority to ask for all those.
So if they come back, can we have any alternate option to fill this gap, or what is the situation? Or do you think I'm just jumping on that, or do you want me to wait and see, or how will just...
I would say, wait and see and take it as it goes, and, you have, go online and, look for our website and then, email me, if at any point of time you would like to talk to us. But at this point of time, I would definitely advise you, to wait for it and see. Probably, as you said, you provided 797s and, waiting on that. Wait on that and see. Pretty much it should go through, but, there is a possibility they might. It's only might, I'm just saying. Possibility. So if you have any questions in future, anybody who is listening out there, can always, email us or, call us.
I got one last question.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, sorry, please, you go. I thought you'd done. I'm sorry.
No, it's Naveen, right, I'm talking to?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Naveen, you can, if you don't want to disclose anything on the public show, you can always email us. But yeah, go ahead with your questions, I'm just trying to say that. But, it's, to, have the hypothetical situation, I would say it would not work. We have to have a solid, a scenario. So right now, it's better to wait and see what will go on in the particular case.
Okay. The other question is, when you're on H1B, I'm working on H1B, and like if you get a job which is remote positions where you don't go to client place and work, you're working for client, but you're gonna be working from home. So so is that okay to work in that situation, right? You don't have to be physically on the client place and work. Is that
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of telecommuting going on. A lot of corporations, the bigger corporations like HP and IBM, they are providing these kind of alternatives, to cut short, their the expenses. So definitely, why not? If that's what, let's say, if your H1B was applied for the same thing, working from home telecommute location, why not? Yes.
I mean, the other day, what happened in the past, I got audited, like people came from immigration when I was working in client location. They came and they verified what I'm doing and stuff. So what I mean is now I'm going to work on remote place and they're going to come back again for another client location and they're going to come and, hey, this guy is not working here. They're going to say he's in remote position. So that's not something I'm doing against too. Right.
See, let me have a clear explanation on in there. I'm assuming that your H1B was filed for remote location and you are working in the remote location. Yes, there is no problem. But if your H1B was filed for a client location and after a while you worked there and then again right now you are working in a remote location, then there is a problem because the FDNS or the investigation they might go to the end client location where the whatever is there on your H1B and they can go look in there, and if you are not there they can report back to USCIS saying that look, this guy is not anymore, no longer working there. So this is as I discussed the starting of my show, saying that this is what the problem is regarding the amendment. So right now the interpretations are changing. In your case, what I would say is definitely if there is a possibility of, if you are expecting, somebody will visit and if your H1B was filed for the client location and you are no longer there and, working at a remote location, I would definitely advise for an amendment, depending upon the scenarios right now, how they are going. But still we don't have a clear, set of rules from there, but regarding the past rules, what we used to rely on are, if any material change happens only. Let's say if you are doing the same job duties and, having the same job title, but you are just physically sitting at your home and working instead of just going to the client location, which means there is no material change here. Basically, you are having the same job title and same job duties and, working with the same environment and all. But physically, you are located, somewhere else, at your home and, working. But the interpretation the USCIS is doing, it's not the same way. They are advising to do the amendments and, even the lawyers, we are advising our clients to have an amendment. But definitely, it's a very burdensome on the employers and then, there are cases where the USCIS went back, after getting the report back from the investigation personnel, this guy is no longer working, they'll send out a, revoke notice to, employer and revoking it. So I would say definitely talk to your employer and, talk to your lawyer, the corporation lawyer and, get it amended if that is the case.
So they do this visiting repeatedly. Like I had one, so that doesn't mean that they're gonna come back or not. It's hard.
It's a random check. Yeah, it's hard to say. It's a random check. It doesn't mean that they will not come again. Yes, there are possibilities, but we don't know. They are just checking in random cases. Maybe yours will be one among them. Never know. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Naveen.
Thank you, Naveen. So, Janetha, just to understand, does that mean that when Naveen is going ahead and then telecommuting, they should file a fresh LCA for his home address?
Yeah, fresh LCA should be filed, and also, how the scenarios are now, depending upon the interpretations, they also have to amend it.
Ah, okay. All right. Okay. Hopefully, Naveen has got his answer. And friends, we are in live conversation with Janetha Kancherla. So if you have further questions, please do visit her website, janethalaw.com, JANETHALAW.com, or email her directly at janetha@janethalaw.com. You can also call her office at 703-880-6409. All right, so moving ahead, Janetha, let me talk about this green card date retrogression. Looks like it came very close to the early 2010, and then the date moved back. Can you throw some light on what's happening on that front?
Yeah, I know. It's according to the predictions. It's going planning. They are presuming that it will go back to 2007 or even 2006. So it all depends upon the bulletin and the person who is in charge of the visa bulletin, how they are doing it. But definitely, it's very disappointing for a lot of people. As I talked to you on the beginning of the show, if this HR 3012 passes, it will be a big relief for a lot of people.
Oh, okay. So it's a great disappointment because I think the dates would, if you're saying the dates would go back further to 2006, and people who are just very close, like it looks like it came until June 2010, and then people who are in July 2010 should have to wait for a longer time, probably a year and a half.
Talking about the going back again till 2010.
Yes.
We don't know. I don't have a particular set of answers to that because we don't know how it's going to be, whether it's going to retrogress or progress in that way. Don't know. So.
Right. I know. And then you mentioned about the per country rule that was taking that's being amended. What would be the impact of that? Would it help, or it is like it makes matters worse?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, it's going to help. Especially between people from China and India. So and also the favorable point to that is, the country as a whole, having that kind of skilled workers in here in America, as it is a land of opportunity, the country will benefit, the tax dollars and, where in turn they will go to the retirement, social security, Medicare and Medicaid, and, so on and so forth, So, yeah, definitely it's going to help. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have another caller right now live. So please go ahead and mention your name and location, and go ahead and ask your question, sir.
Yeah, hi. My name is Das. I'm from Los Angeles. I have a question regarding the 485. I filed 485 6 months ago, and I got EADs. So now I'm planning to change employer. So if I do that, if my employer revoke I-140, are there any risks on that?
You said you already got your EADs and you are planning to change your employer, you said, right?
Yeah, I'm 485.
When did you file your 485?
It's more than 180 days.
180 days.
Like I think February, end of February.
Yeah. Okay, once the 180 days passes, it's safe to move around, but you again have to file the AC-21 when you are moving on with the new employment, and let the USCIS know whether the job that you are accepting is in the same or similar job title, job code, and all.
Okay. In that case, do I need to transfer H1B, or is it safe work on EAD?
I would say definitely maintain your H1B. If something happens to your 485, at least you will have your H1B as a fallback status. It's pretty important. Definitely, I would advise to maintain your H1B if possible. Yes.
Okay. Can I ask one more question, please?
Yes.
So when I file AC-21 or EAD extensions, can I file myself, or should I go through attorney?
I would definitely advise you to go through the attorney because those are not the simple things. It has to be played by the rules. So definitely go to an experienced immigration attorney who can do so.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Das. Coming back, Janetha. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes. So you can hear me, Janetha?
Yeah. Who is this?
This is Shrikant. Sorry.
Yes, Shrikant.
Yes,
yes,
like
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So coming back to the Student Visa Reform Act that was placed in the House, looks like it started off on August 1st, 2012. What's this act? What is the impact? Is there any impact on our students coming from India?
Which one you are talking to? The deferred
there was
action
a recent. Yes.
Yeah. The reason for that, it's nothing related to the students. It's all related to the persons who are already here inside the country, and then for the people, those who arrived in their childhood, it's a kind of temporary relief for them, those who are already here and as students. So those should be under 31 of age, and at least they should be came to the United States before reaching their 16th birthday. So this is a release that the recently President signed into on June 15, 2012. So there are set of points that where they have to meet. A person should be physically here in the United States on that particular date, and they should be here before the 16th birthday, and at least they are below 31. So and they should have this currently attending the school, and not have any criminal background. So yeah, it's they are eligible to apply for the EAD, so work authorization, where they can work on and at the same time go to the school. It's a release that the president recently signed into the law.
Okay. And there's news going on around, I don't know how authentic is it, that in future H4 dependents can work just like L2 can work right now. So any news on that front, Janetha?
Nothing official. We didn't receive any official confirmation regarding that. Probably they might be, but right now no official confirmation on that. Actually.
Oh, okay. There's some conversations going on that front, or it's just an vague news that you need?
Yeah, people keep calling me and asking me, but unless and until there is a confirmation, I would really not like to comment on that. Right now it still remains as a rumor. So
I got it. Okay. So we have Srinivas from New Jersey. He said, I used to live in South Korea and I got a job in U.S. Now that I got my visa stamped in South Korea, is it needed that I should go to India once and then enter USA? I directly came to USA, but is it mandatory that I go to India and then enter USA?
Okay, can you repeat the question again? Sorry, Shrikant.
So Srinivas is basically, he was working in South Korea, and a U.S. employer has hired him, and he got his visa stamped in South Korea.
Oh, okay.
The U.S. visa stamped in South Korea. So he's saying some of his friends are asking him to go to India and then come from India to United States rather than coming from South Korea directly to United States.
No, he don't have to go to India. He can directly come from South Korea. There is no obligation that he has to go back to India. Once the visa is stamped, definitely he can come to.
Oh, okay. So there's another question here. I have had a query at the Consulate in Chennai, and now I'm looking for alternatives. My client relies on me for the project. How long am I legally eligible to work at India until my case is resolved?
As long as your client allows you to work, unless and until there is no denial on your H1B.
Oh, okay. Oh, he writes back to me saying that.
If there is a denial in the H1B, then he cannot. If there is a denial in the H1B, then he cannot. But as long as it's still going through the administrative process and all, so if the client allows, then definitely you can keep on going.
Okay, so there's a message again saying some of my friends tell me that there is a 90-day limit that I can work in a remote place. So is it that I have eligibility to work only for 90 days when I'm in India?
No, he can work beyond that. If the client allows him, and as I told you, if there is no denial.
Oh, okay, very good. And the other question that I've compiled here is my H1B is in the process of transfer, and I'll have to travel to India to attend a domestic emergency. is it worth traveling while my H1B is in transfer phase, or is it risky?
I would say not to travel as long as the petition is still pending. It's kind of once you travel when the petition is pending, it's abandoning the petition. So I would not suggest.
Okay, great. And madam, my driving license expired, and for renewal of my driving license, I was asked to furnish my I-797 that is right now under transfer process and which would take more time. The DMV office says that they cannot provide me a DMV license until I furnish my latest I-797 and I-94. I'm unable to drive car and I'm handicapped because of this issue. What should I do and who can help me?
Yeah, they can actually, if there is no approval, at least they can try to, take the original receipt notice and try to show the DMV. But these DMV regulations go by state to state, so they have to check the state-specific rules on that. So, but probably carrying the original receipt notice might help. But I'm not sure, in which state it is and, what set of rules they have. So.
Oh, okay. Each state might be different. Yeah, this seems to be a very, very different case. And unfortunately, he's unable to drive. And then I know it is a pain. This is really painful.
yeah, especially in this country.
In this country, without driving, he's handicapped. A very good way to put it. I'm handicapped right now, so feel sorry for him. But yeah, and the visa fees have changed recently, and I wrongly paid the fee in HDFC for my H4 visa. So there are, we were asked to contact the VFS office, and the VFS said that either we could pay the balance amount by cash or DD at the time of interview. Is this true, or do we need to take a new DD? What is the process for this? Can you please advise, madam?
He was saying he already paid the fees, the increase.
Yeah, he paid the fees, but he wrongly paid. Yeah, he paid a very less price, looks like.
Oh.
And then he was asked to contact the VFS office, and the VFS office said that he can pay the balance amount by cash or DD at the time of interview. So is this true?
I'm not sure how this one works out, but I'm not aware of that. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, so many people having so many problems on this front.
Definitely. It's always challenging. So, if the people still have questions, if they contact you, you can just route them to me. So, probably sure. I'll try to help them as much as I can. So.
Okay. I recently stepped into USA, and my wife is on H4B. I wish to engage her in some activity. What is that she would be eligible to do in the United States? Can you please elaborate?
And the best thing would be, going to school. If she is interested in, then after finishing her education, she will have a lot of opportunities available. So definitely, that's something to be considered.
Okay. So. Yeah, just because he mentioned about VFS, even before I wrap up, Janetha, and I know we just past 1 hour, but please, if you could answer, what is the role of this VFS service in India? What kind of help do they offer? If you could enlighten our listeners on what help they can get, that will be great.
They are kind of facilitators where act as a liaison between the clients and the State Department. So. Trying to collect all the documentation and getting them to the department. So.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Janetha, for answering all these questions. I know it's intense. This is complex. This is not easy, and we definitely appreciate your time. And I hope a lot of our listeners have got wonderful piece of information. I hope to do many such shows in future. Thank you very much, Janetha, for being with us on the show today.
Yeah, thanks, Srinath. It's a very honor and pleasure of mine to be on the show, and thank you so much.
Sure, Janetha. And then any further questions, we would just route it to your email address. And also to all our listeners here today, I wish to mention the details. You could visit Janetha on her website, which is janethalaw.com. You'd get all her details, the email addresses, and the phone numbers. So please do visit the website. Once again, it is janethalaw.com, Janetha law.com. And thank you once again, Janetha. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Srinath. Yeah, bye. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, friends, that's it for today. We had Janetha today answering all our questions related to immigration. If you have any further questions, you could reach out to her. Various channels, which is the best way is to reach out to her on her website, janethalaw.com, as I mentioned earlier. So her law offices are located in Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Newark. Also, her firm handles a variety of immigration matters, including employment and family-based cases, as well as areas of adjustment of status and naturalization. So, friends, do tune in tomorrow for another incredible show. This show will be about Jan Satyagraha, 1 lakh people, 300 kilometers on foot from Gwalior to Delhi. The fight for right starts October 2nd, 2012. Listen to those people who initiated this movement on NRI Samay. Just to elaborate a little bit, Jan Satyagraha 2012 is a movement for all Indians who dream of another India with equal opportunity, justice, and peace. And Jan Satyagraha 2012 demands that people have control over water, land, and forest. 1 lakh farmers, poor intellectuals, youth, Adivasis, and Dalits will be traveling by foot 350 kilometers from Gwalior to Delhi to demand equal control over natural resources, so that they can maintain their own livelihood. So do stay tuned tomorrow live on NRI Samay, September 9, 2012. So you could listen again back on nrisamay.com. 9:30 p.m. India time, 9 a.m. PST Pacific USA time, and 12 p.m. EST USA time. Thank you very much for tuning in today, friends, and we appreciate your time. And do tune in tomorrow. Thank you very much.